Come in, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Please be seated. Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Can you introduce yourself, Aparajitha?
Yes, sir. My name is Aparajitha Aryan, and I hail from the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. I have completed my bachelor's with honors in commerce and subsequently pursued my post-graduation in economics. Thereafter, I started preparing for civil services examination, and in 2023, I cleared Jammu Kashmir Public Service Combined Competitive Exam, in which I was allotted Jammu Kashmir Administrative Service. Currently, I am holding the charge of Block Development Officer in the Office of Assistant Commissioner Panchayat, Jammu. And apart from my work and academics, I cherish my time spent with family and friends, and I love expressing myself through dance, particularly Kathak.
Kathak. Aparajitha, I was going through your DAF. When you studied commerce in your graduation, 10th standard and post-graduation, I was expecting economics to be your optional, but ironically, I found anthropology. And
So
not only that, my surprise did not stop there. You also wrote in your draft that you are teaching some students anthropology. So how come this transition to anthropology happened?
So actually at that time, I was also simultaneously preparing for the state combined competitive exam. And that time when I started off, in our state exam, there were two subjects. So one I decided I'll take economics, and the other one I thought I'll take anthropology. And when I started immersing myself into the subject, I realized that it was a newfound love, and I really enjoyed reading the subject, and it also changed my perspective towards things, so I wanted to explore it more. So till the time I got to write my mains this time, I was more comfortable with the subject.
Okay, so that's how you chose anthropology.
Right, sir.
Okay. When you study anthropology, what was your awakening about treatment of women in the past?
So women in the past?
Yeah. How the treatment of women gone through an evolutionary path in the ancient, medieval and modern times?
So I found very interesting perspectives on feminist views in anthropology. First thing, if I talk strictly from the anthropological view, because you asked that, I think first thing was the not the representation that was given to the female as both as a interviewer and as a recipient of information. So basically, when the subject also was evolving, it was mostly the men who were studying the men. So the perspective of women was more or less missed out in the beginning or the evolution of the subject. And if we talk about the perspective of women in ancient, medieval, and to now, I feel that in the times when the society was less structured or less evolved in the way that we have our modern structures present, I think women had a little more freedom as compared to today. Because today, a lot of with the structural things like patriarchy and the institution of marriage, there has been a little bit of inhibition in the evolution of women.
See, Aparajitha, I've generally understood one thing. The biggest victim of any conflict are women and children. And ironically, that the society does not even take cognizance of. Can you tell me how the continuation of the conflict of J&K since independence till today affected the life of a common women and children?
So in J&K?
Yes.
So in definitely, sir, whenever there's a situation like conflict, definitely the most victimized are the women and the children. So definitely in Jammu and Kashmir also, there has been a lag in terms of socio-economic indicators for both women and children. So they have suffered on account of education, they have suffered on account of employment, skilling, and the gender roles have been very conventional in the sense of patriarchy. The children have been more pushed towards the ideas of violence, conflict. Their mental health has taken a toll over the time, because the people, especially living in the valley, the females and the children are having a very, very different lifestyle as compared to the average Indian today. So, because of the conflicts that has been the part of ever since ever since the independence time. So, I think these are the.
Okay. Say, for example, it's a hypothetical situation. Our Honorable Prime Minister Modi calls you and he tells, okay, Aparajitha, 2 wishes for J&K you ask and it will be done. This is what his statement is. 2 wishes for J&K, you ask and I'll do it. Even if I have to make the heavens come to the Mother Earth, I'll do it, but I'll make that wish come true. Tell me, what would be those 2 wishes you'll ask for your state?
So can I take a moment?
Yes, please.
Because wish is a very special thing.
Yes.
Okay, sir. So I would wish, first thing I would wish that the students of Jammu and Kashmir are at least at par in terms of their skilling and education with the rest of the country, because Jammu Kashmir topographically and geographically is very difficult, and to reach the last mile it is also very difficult. So I would want the Honorable Prime Minister to try, which is also the focus of the government, to reach the last mile. So I would think that even the last child of the hill or the valley should have the education skilling at par with the national average. And second thing, I think I would wish for more tourism and wish for more development and growth of the region, because people of the valley and Jammu and Kashmir have not integrated fully, even though there were tourists always visiting, but the tourism had been from the perspective of only the picturesque landscapes that there are, but not the cultural perspective. So I would want more integration.
See, generally, I was reading one of the authors, foreign authors, I am not remembering the name. He brought a very beautiful perspective. He says, people look at J&K problem as a problem between Pakistan and India. That is the biggest problem, he says. The author goes ahead to make a statement. The world, especially the West, does not want peace to come to J&K, because there is so much of natural beauty that India as a country can make J&K the tourist destination of the world. So to ensure that does not happen, terrorism has to continue. Will you buy this argument?
So I can buy this partially.
Partially?
Yes, sir.
Partially. You also feel that there are some invisible hands working in this direction with a deceitful motive.
I can
You can buy this argument.
Yes.
Good. So tell me one thing, Aparajitha. It is said that, I have been born and brought up as a child hearing that Nehru did a mistake by going to UN about the Kashmir issue. I want to know your perspective.
So I don't think it, in the hindsight, wisdom comes to everyone. So I don't think in that time it was a mistake per se. It is only when it was done in a good intention. So only after.
What was the good intention?
Good intention of resolving the conflict, and we were more or less sure that India would, because India was legitimate in its demand for Kashmir. So they were thinking that more or less UN would come to rescue, and the peace would be made in a more legitimate way, so that, because it was an international issue and concerning a body which is specifically dealing with the international concerns, it would have been more legit and legal. So I don't think so. It was
You're a student of economics.
Right, so.
See, in the budget also and before also, the finance minister and the prime minister, they make statements by 2047 Bharat would be a Viksit Bharat. If I find a synonym to Viksit Bharat, a developed nation, right? But if I go to World Bank definition of developed nation, do you think it is practically feasible to be a developed nation by 2047? I want from the perspective of numbers, not emotion. What is the criteria World Bank says that a country is developed when? What is that benchmark? If I talk about per capita income.
So I am not exactly sure, but if I have to take a guess, I would say $10,000 per.
$12,000+.
Right.
Okay. What is the present per capita income?
So less than 2,000.
Around $2,000, right? So do you see it increasing 5 times? Because your denominator population is also increasing, right?
So I'll be optimistic. I would say it can.
No optimism. I want, you have to give me an objective analysis. Is that feasible in the present rate of growth of your economy?
So it is.
It is feasible.
Yes, sir. So looking at
Prove
countries like China, who have.
Don't look at China. You prove it to me.
So India is already the multiplier effect. I think it will going to come in the near 20-25 years. So I'm banking upon that because India has taken. India is doing today. It's going to reap the benefits in the next 20-25 years.
India is 1.5 billion today.
Right, sir.
1.4, 1.5 billion today. Your economy is, what is the size of the economy today?
4 trillion, sir.
4 trillion. 4 trillion divided by 1.5 billion. What is the result?
It's around.
If it has to be 12,000, what should be the nominator and denominator? है ना? बात समझ में आ रही है? ठीक है, सुनने को बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, बट यू नो मे नॉट बी ट्रू. इट्स ओके. अच्छा, इकोनॉमी की हम जब बात करते हैं, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स, राइट, वी प्राउडली से आई हैव गॉट 600+ billion dollars of foreign exchange reserves. I want you to do a critical analysis of its composition and scale, both.
So the foreign exchange of India is it comprises of the dollars, then some of it is.
We'll call it foreign denominated assets.
Right, sir.
हाँ, थोड़ा इकोनॉमी स्टूडेंट हो आप. डोंट टॉक लाइक एंथ्रो स्टूडेंट. हाँ.
Sorry, sir.
हाँ हाँ.
Can you repeat the question?
Foreign currency assets, no?
Right.
You said dollar, but it's not only dollar.
Yeah, yeah.
There's other assets also.
Reserve. It's a basket of.
हाँ.
Five,
foreign currency assets.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Foreign
Other two variables?
So gold and then the other government securities.
No. SDRs? Special drawing rights?
Right, right. Sir.
Special drawing rights, right? This is the composition.
Right.
Now give me the criticality of this composition.
So criticality as in?
How it is, what is the red signal in the composition?
So the red signal is that the basket as such is not representative.
Okay.
So for example, the Indian rupee is now becoming, for example, after the post-pandemic and the conflicts that has arisen in the economy and the problem that has.
You tell me what is the problem with the composition of that foreign currency assets. It is dollar heavy.
Yes, sir.
If there is any collapse of US economy,
yes,
your forex reserve will also collapse.
Yes, sir.
That's the criticality of the composition. Now talk about the scale. Do we need $650 billion as the foreign reserves?
So it is usually healthy because if we have more reserves, for example, if any prices in the world economy changes, oil prices change.
Then why are we not investing it? I'm asking you a question because you're an economist student. I don't ask this question to others. Think. See, when you are asking for FDIs and FIIs, there is a repayment obligation. Yes or no? But when you already have reserves to the tune of $650 billion, why are you going and asking people to invest money when you already have? And what is the import bill? You tell me. What is an import bill?
So I'm not sure about the exact number.
Okay. What is an import bill?
So import bill is the amount that we pay for our imports.
Imports, right?
Right.
The golden thumb rule is 3 months of import bill is the forex reserves a country should be holding.
Right, sir.
Your forex reserve today is touching 15 to 18 months of import bill.
Right, sir.
Do we need that much?
So it is a bit on the higher side, but I would not say that it is something which we should.
You're saying bit higher side, 5 times. Economist.
So, for example, I'll just quote an example. When the Russia-Ukraine conflict hit the world, and that time the global oil prices did change, and at that time our forex reserves came down heavily. So I think in situations which are not which is force majeure, or which we cannot, which are uncertain. I think sometimes to have a reserve.
So we are being conservative.
Yes, sir.
We are being conservative.
Right, sir.
You heard about the word Hindu rate of growth?
Yes, sir.
Tell me that.
So post the opening up of our economy. Pre the opening up of our economy in 1991. The growth rate that India was following was the Hindu growth rate, which was around 3 to 4%, which had become.
Why it was called Hindu growth rate?
So I think I do not remember it.
Conservative.
Yes.
We are happy with that 3 to 4. Okay? Good. We'll talk detail in the feedback. Good.
Okay, Aparajitha. What is the meaning of Aparajitha?
So Aparajitha literally means someone who is invincible, or one who cannot be defeated. Also, it is taken from the Hindu mythology. So it is the name of a Hindu goddess, Durga, and it is also the name of a flower, Asian pigeon wings.
Okay. So can you let me know the one name of goddess in the Indus Valley civilization?
So Indus Valley civilization was not, they did not believe in idols and everything. So as such, there were no gods in the
Goddess was that time. Goddess was there.
Mother goddess.
Mother goddess.
It was usually known as Mother goddess, but I don't know if she had a name.
Okay. So your option is anthropology. So were ancient human bodies different from ours?
Yes, sir.
How?
So it has come a huge evolution has happened, not only culturally and socially but also physically. So the ancient Indian, the hominin, the first the human, so to say, was a very short height, approximately 4 feet individual with a very stocky build, and which was the first Homo erectus. Before that, we had also Australopithecus, which was a missing link between the humans and the apes. So we do not know much about the how human characteristics it had. But Homo erectus was the first one, which was more stocky and was a short-heighted individual and had a thick, robust jawline as well. So the dental features were also different. They were more ape-like and not human-like, and the cranial capacity of the brain was also less. It was around 1000 cc as compared to the 1200, 1300 cranial capacity that we have today. Then Homo neanderthals came, and then Homo sapiens, and then Homo sapiens sapien. So the height increased, the spinal cord got erect, the femur bone got more robust for walking bipedally. So I think these were the changes.
Okay, how have human evolved?
So human evolved so not only physically they evolved socially, culturally. So it has been it's been a evolution that has been holistic. So and all of them are interdependent to each other. Because of some physical changes, there came some changes in the culture, and because of the culture, there came some different evolution. I'll just quote an example. For example, when the hips got enlarged, the female, which was more apt for carrying a baby, human baby, which was having a larger brain, the concept of families came in, because then the female needed to be taking care of the child for a longer time, and it was dependent upon the mother. So now a man was required to take care of the family as a whole, the mother child.
Okay. Why are people all different physically?
So people are different physically because of there is not one reason why people are different. So that will be a long list. I'll just share some of the points that I have in my mind. First is the geography. It plays an important part in the races, in the formation of races. So the nasal bone, the color of the person, the hair color, all depends upon, and the physical body type also. It's dependent upon the geography that we live in. If I consider myself from a person of my region, then I would say our genetics has a big role to play, because 99.8% of our body, it's the genetic makeup is almost same, but 0.2% is different, which makes the changes in people.
Okay. And what kind of diversity is found in humans?
So as in,
As diversity in the human bodies, humans,
so any physically, sir.
not physically, in behavior, in thinking, everything.
So I think there is immense diversity that we can find, because there is a concept called nature versus nurture. So that has also a lot to play upon how diverse the people can be. Then there are genetics. Then there is the idea of socialization, our primary socialization, our schooling, our college, the political affiliations that we have, the geography that we live in, the culture that we live in, the society that is there. So I think these all things, be it the nature and the nurture, both have a lot of role to play in our diversity.
Okay. Can you let me know the key role of ice age cycle in early human interbreeding?
So I
The
didn't
key role of ice age
Ice age. Okay, sir.
cycle in early human interbreeding.
Yes, sir. So when the ice age started, the continents got cut off from each other. So the people who were struck in the Eurasian region, they could not for a longer time breed with the people from the African continent. So the early races are believed to have been found in those times. And because I'll quote one example, the Homo neander and the Homo africanus would be the two varieties who became different from each other.
Okay, okay. My last question is, do tribal lives matter? Life expectancy, health indicators stay poor in MP. It was in news also. So you heard about this news?
I could not hear you properly, sir. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, tribal lives matter. Life expectancy, health indicators very poor in MP. So what was the reason behind it? It was in news.
In Madhya Pradesh, sir?
Yes, yes,
So, what is the reason behind their
Yes.
poor social indicators?
yes.
So, I would say the so first of all, I would say their culture is a little different. So because of that, also they are a little shy of coming in the mainstream and integrating with the population at large. So I would say this is one reason from their side. But the other reason that I can think of is because they usually live in isolated areas. It is difficult to administer all the amenities that people of mainstream would have. This is one reason, and also because the people are not willing to go and serve in those regions. That would be another reason of their relative deprivation. I would say there has been little of a continuity in terms of tribal welfare policies also from the beginning. So the policy has been more sporadic and not in continuity. But the new initiatives that have come, like the PM Janman Abhiyan, and the focus on the primitive, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, I think these are positive steps and would increase the socioeconomic indicators of the tribals.
And being a IAS officer, what will you do for them?
So I think the best way to administer the tribals would be the ideas that were also given by Jawaharlal Nehru in his Panchsheel. So I will try and implement those ideas.
So that kind of ideas so already is going on, so, but
Right, sir.
not affected much more.
So
So and what will you do different from others and other policies and etc.
So I think sometimes doing different is not important. doing the same thing with much more efficiency is
But
important.
implication, a way of implications
Right.
can be different.
Right, sir.
So what would be different?
So I think I will go with a more empathetic approach, and I will try implement, because we have best of the best schemes. I think we need to implement them well. So if I administer an area that happens to be a tribal area, I will try first to see if all those schemes are put in place and there are ample resources at hand for me to help them with those schemes. And if additionally I feel that there is a need for some other interventions as well, I think I will go for them also.
Okay, thank you.
Now you are Aparajitha Aryan.
Yes, sir.
Are you an Aryan?
No, sir.
Then
So it was mostly because my parents thought it was aesthetically appealing with my name. So
Okay.
this doesn't pertain to any caste or racial ethnicity per se. It is just that they thought it looked
no,
aesthetic.
actually, it was said by many people, many scholars, that Aryans came from the steppes of Russia and all that. So that's why I asked this.
No, sir.
Okay. And now you talked of Jammu and Kashmir being an international issue. Why was it an international issue?
So it was not an international issue before the partition, but the partition had some extraordinary, it created some extraordinary circumstances for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. When the instrument of accession was signed, the Pakistan, that militia that attacked the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and in that time, Jammu and Kashmir's decision of signing of instrument of accession happened, which was thought as not very fair by the Pakistan government of the time. So that is why it became an international issue, but it was not an international issue before that.
Actually, Jammu and Kashmir was purchased by Maharaja Gulab Singh from the British.
Right, sir.
Similarly, Alaska was also purchased by USA from the Tsar of Russia. Okay. Similarly, Andaman and Nicobar were also purchased by the British from the Dutch. Okay. So now they are our parts.
Right.
So when Alaska was purchased, and Russia is now saying that you give it back to us, but America is refusing. So when a deal is done, it is done. So it became his personal property, the Maharaja's personal. He had a right to accede to this side or that side.
Right, sir.
Okay, or to stay independent. But he was not allowed to stay independent. All the agreements signed stands with Pakistan and with India and with others. Pakistan attacked India. No? And Jinnah had information that the half of the army of Maharaja Hari Singh will back them. They were all Muslims. Half of them were Muslims, and they killed their Hindu colleagues at night. So that's why he said that Kashmir is in my pocket. He said it, these are his words, not my words. He was playing, billiards when this man, Sheikh Abdullah, went to meet him. And when he came to know, when Jawaharlal Nehru came to know, he imprisoned him for 18 years. He was right then. So I don't think it was an international, it was not correct on the part of Nehru to go to the United Nations. He internationalized the issue for no reason, and the problem continued. The Indian Armed Forces demanded only 12 hours more, but he was not ready to give 12 hours more, and this problem would not have been there. So these are the mistakes of our leaders. Now, anthropology, who was Charles Darwin?
Sir, Darwin was though he did not individually give the idea of evolution. It was the contribution of many people, but he is known popularly for the theory of survival of the fittest. and the idea of principle of natural selection in his book Origin of Species.
So what was the reaction to his
Reaction?
Yes.
So,
Church, held thousands of seminars and published tracts, small books, and held, propaganda that how come that man has been created by God as per the Bible.
yes, sir.
So the church pounced upon him.
Yes, sir.
So what was the reason of the church?
So, because that time it was believed, as you also mentioned, that people were created by God, and to challenge that idea was unconventional.
Yes.
So, first, he was the first person who talked science, and he scientifically tried to give the idea of evolution. So, that time, challenging the Pope and the Church, it was unconventional.
Yes. Someone was given hemlock also. Who was he?
So, yes, sir. I'm not.
Socrates.
Yes, sir.
He said that the earth revolves around the
Yes,
sun.
yes, sir.
And so he was taken to the church, inquisition. So when it was also said by the church that if man has evolved from monkeys, then why monkeys continue to be monkeys? Why have they also not become human beings? This was their argument.
So, if I were to be Darwin, I would have told them the concept of parallelism and convergence. So,
Okay, so can you name the cradle of civilization?
sir, Africa it is.
Africa. Which part of Africa?
So, South Africa and East Africa. The Tuang baby and the region of Old Dubai George has been the
Ethiopia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, actually, Dr. Ambedkar also said that Aryans came from the steppes earlier. Then later on, he changed his theory. He corrected himself. So, why was this theory of Aryan invasion invented 100 years ago?
So it is debatable, and no one exactly knows who were the Aryans and where did they come from. So even till today, it's only speculations and debates. So many people had the research on how Aryans came and the invasion and the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. I also have limited knowledge over that.
Actually, 100 years ago, in 1920s and 30s, Quit India movement was going on. And so the British invented this theory that if Aryans can come and stay here, why can't we come and stay here? This was the reason why they invented, and they hired people, Periyar type of people. Periyar was a very big, supporter of this Aryan and Dravidian theory. The Dravidians had facial features which their nose was flat and dark, whereas Aryans had long and straight nose. So this was the thing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Aparajitha, can you highlight something while you are answering a question related with Darwin, that who is said to be Darwinian before Darwin, or socialist before the sociologists?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Who is said to be Darwinian before Darwin in your subject sociology?
Sir,
Or
it is,
who is said to be sociologist before the sociology?
Sir, I am not a sociology student, but I will try attempting that question. Darwinian, before Darwinian, I would say Herbert Spencer,
Okay, reason?
because he had also done a lot of research on evolution of the mankind.
Okay. Being economics is your optional, can you connect some provision of constitution which deals with equal pay for equal work?
Yes, sir. It is part of our DPSPs, but I don't think I remember the article.
Okay. Recently there is a law commission report. Can you say which report is it and what are the areas with which it is going to publish, or which area the law commission report is touching?
I think I have not read it, sir.
Okay. Recently in the budget, we find the term multidimensional poverty. Can you highlight that? What are the indicators and dimensions in it?
So the multidimensional poverty index of India covers around 10 parameters. In the world there are three, majorly health and nutrition, the school education and standard of living. So these are also subdivided into others in the Indian NPI. And
Who is said to be MPI poor?
so based on these criteria, who fail to in more than one indicators are said to be NPI poor.
What is the poverty threshold in this MPI?
So I think
Okay, recently there is a J&K judgment by the Supreme Court. Can you name that very judgment? What is the name of that judgment or case?
So it's called Ray. I think I'm forgetting it, sir.
Ray mean?
So I think I need to go back and check this.
Can you highlight what are the various provisions of Constitution are interpreted in this judgment?
So there were 8 questions on which the Supreme Court answered basically 8 questions on which it talked about whether the abrogation of Article 370 was valid or not, how the President could have abrogated the Article 370, whether it could have been done in the presidential.
Can you name some articles?
Yes, sir. Basically, it dealt with Article 367.
What is 367?
It deals with the interpretation of the Constitution, which was used.
Okay, any other articles?
So 370 subclause 3, 370 subclause 1D. They were and the constitutional orders 272 and 273.
Okay, not Article 35A.
Yes, sir.
35.
Article 35A also.
So, in multidimensional poverty, there is a one term hell. Can you expand that term?
Hell.
HEL.
I am not aware about
Health, education, living standard. So,
Okay, sir.
have you gone through the budget or interim budget?
Yes, sir. I did read a little bit about it.
So, under which provision of Constitution, government or parliament is authorized to introduce these statements?
These
This budget term is used in the Constitution.
budget term? No, sir.
So, under which article they are doing all these formalities, or which provision of Constitution authorizing them?
Sir, our DPSPs have the provision of government working for the welfare of the people.
Okay. So, can you explain? There is one term used, and that is TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Yes, sir.
Explain, please, this.
So, Supreme Court ordered to form this Truth and Reconciliation Council. Basically, when the abrogation happened, there was a larger trust deficit between the people of Valley specifically and with the integration of India, and they had some issues which they felt there was some issues that needed to be resolved. So this council was created by Supreme Court so that the
Council
integration.
or commission? And can you name the judge who has given specially this opinion or observation regarding the creation of Truth Commission?
So I would believe it's the Chief Justice of India, but I'm
There
not
is one
sure.
justice who basically belongs to J&K.
Justice called.
Yes.
Okay.
So, can you explain the term briefly? What is the rule of law?
So rule of law means that the government abiding the constitution and going by the constitutional mandate.
Government, not man.
So all the 3 organs of the government, the legislative, the executive and the judiciary.
Okay. Can you name any article which you find that it is the best example of rule of law?
Sir, I think
Okay, thank you.
Aparajitha, 2-3 questions very quickly. I'll sum it up. This sexual harassment of women at workplace.
That's it.
Can you tell me what amounts to sexual harassment?
So sexual harassment, if you'll ask a woman and if you'll ask...
I want the law.
Okay, sir.
Law में क्या लिखा है? What all entails defined as sexual harassment?
So sexual harassment is, it could be verbal and it could be physical, it is there, but it could be verbal, harassing a female, demeaning her integrity is also amounting to sexual harassment.
What all acts will amount to sexual harassment?
So sexual harassment at workplace, prevention.
Have you read the act?
Yes, sir.
There is a term called ICC.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Internal Complaints Committee, sir.
What is the composition?
So there has to be a female. It's a 3-membered body. There has to be a female, and so I think I'm forgetting it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You are talking about Panchashil,
Yes,
tribal.
yes.
Can you tell me what are the 5 principles of Panchashil?
So the tribal Panchi.
Yes.
So the first is we have to try that the administration of the tribals are more or less done by the tribals themselves. Then we do not have to overburden them by launching many schemes and overburdening them. Then we have to see the development not by terms of numbers or resources that we have spent, but the quality of human resource that we have created in there. Then we have to make the tribals self-dependent so that they are able to administer themselves. And I think I am forgetting one.
Overall well-being.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Recently in January 2024, Indian Army launched a new operation in J&K to fight terrorism. Can you name the operation to me?
I cannot.
Operation Sarv Shakti.
Okay, sir.
Very recently, Jan 2024.
Right.
Okay? Chalo, thank you. Your interview is over. Relax. आराम से बैठो. ठीक है? How do you think you did? When is your interview?
So 28th Feb.
28th Feb. आपको क्या लगता है आपने कैसे परफॉर्म किया?
So I don't know. It was okay.
हाँ?
It was okay, sir.
ठीक. Okay. It was okay. Not okay. It was better than okay. It was good. ठीक है? You are a strong candidate, but brevity is needed.
Okay.
ठीक है? Simple logic है. 3 boards, 3,500 students. They have lost patience. And by the time your turn comes, half the patience is gone. So, as brief as possible. जितने कम शब्द, a sentence not more than 5 words. ठीक है? जितना कम रखोगे उतना you'll be rewarded. Trust me. If you elaborate, they will. सुबह का सेशन है आपको.
Afternoon, sir.
और भी ब्रीफ कर. I will not give more than 4 words then. ठीक है? और ब्रीफ करो उसको. ठीक है? You're good for situational questions and all, but information, economics, 5 साल आपने पढ़ाई की है economics की. You have to use the vocabulary when you, ठीक है? They'll expect. आपने honors किया है ना? Honors किया है. So honors student बाकी student से और भी अच्छा होता है. ये मेरा मानना है. So I am also one. So that's what I'm saying. ठीक है? So economics में अच्छे से जाओ. Last 6 months what's happening on the economic front? ठीक है? जो मैंने आपसे सवाल पूछा था 2047, is it realistic? आपने बोला सर optimistically it is realistic, but you know, try to frame it, reframe it in some other. Everybody knows it is not feasible, it's not possible because your denominator is also increasing, right? Population will continue to increase till when? Till when?
So
When is the stagnation expected?
So by that 2047.
हाँ, फिर
2050.
अगर 2047 तक बढ़ेगा तो कैसे आपका जीडीपी विल हैव एन इफेक्ट. ठीक है? बाकी फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, ठीक है, फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स उसको भी अच्छे से आप पढ़िए. बजट को आप कंप्लीटली पढ़ के जाइए. आपसे सवाल बहुत पूछे जाएंगे. विच स्कीम यू फील इज द बेस्ट, विच स्कीम यू फेल्ट शुड नॉट हैव बीन इम्प्लीमेंटेड. मोनेटाइजेशन, जेएन के रिलेटेड जितना भी फंड एलोकेशन हुआ है इन द रिसेंट पास्ट आफ्टर 2019, उसको अच्छे से आप देख करके जाइए. हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ जे.एंड.के, सर जो बात कर रहे थे, दैट इज अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली. गुलाब सिंह आफ्टर लूजिंग द बैटल विद द ब्रिटिशर्स, he bought back Punjab from the Britishers by paying some money. ठीक है? So what about if history starts to go back to that time and people say no, this was a bought territory, then the people of J&K start saying we want to be independent. Okay, so that's what is the dimension. Maharaja Hari Singh knew that he cannot stay independent for long because it is strategically located.
Yes, sir.
Had it been Kerala, the things would have been different, but because it is J&K, that was one dimension. और historical context of Nehru, his policies of J&K, उसको भी आप अच्छे से पढ़िए. Why India went to United Nations? That one, though as you said yourself, in the hindsight, it is very easy to make a statement on historical decision to be taken. A very, very, very balanced statement actually you made. So try to hold on to that belief system. You are strong, but thoda legal places you fumbled here also. Okay, Darwinian theory. Why you made a statement? I am not a student of sociology. Anthropology में Darwinian theory नहीं आता है. Why you have to specifically make a statement? I am not.
Yes, I was thinking he was asking sociologists.
Test
because-
of
Also, also the part of anthropology.
टेस्ट ऑफ पर्सनालिटी ना बाबा.
You should know.
पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट है ना, नॉलेज का टेस्ट थोड़ी है. He is least bothered whether you know about Darwin or not, but he is only trying to see whether you are getting disturbed by the word sociology, and you got disturbed. Then he again made one more this thing, economy optional, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
Immediately, then again you got disturbed. I saw your face. You getting my point? This is a test of personality, not knowledge. नहीं पता है, कोई बात. But it should not disturb you. They are only seeing if something disturbs you. That should not be the case. ठीक है? You are a very strong candidate. How is your mains?
I don't know.
The second mains, third mains?
It's the first name.
First mains.
Yes, sir.
तो there is no comparative analysis. कि सर पिछली बार से अच्छा हुआ था, है ना? So God willing, you should see. You know, when Manmohan Singh was there, I don't know whether this is being practiced now or not. But when Manmohan Singh was there, the students from J&K were given some extra marks in interviews because from what they have come till there, practice is being followed or not. No matter, even if it is not being practiced, I am sure you will get that extra marks. Okay? Target 200, not less than 200. You have the capacity to touch 200. ठीक है? अच्छे से पढ़ाई करो. Time है month 28th Feb, right? 24 days, 23 days. More than enough. Trust me. अच्छे से पढ़ाई करो. And don't make guess anywhere. आपने एक दो जगह guess किया है. Simple say I don't. Because sexual harassment of women at workplace, any unwelcome gesture, be it verbal, non-verbal, or by sign, any showcase of any pornographic video, any pressure on work on output related to sexual favors or harassment, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. ठीक है? Everything related to women अच्छे से देख करके जाइए. Don't give them a reason कि इसको ये नहीं पता है. And I am sure with your DAF, you can easily preempt what can be asked to you. उसको अच्छे से तैयारी करके जाओ. पूरे दुनिया जान की पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट अपने डाफ के हिसाब से तैयारी करके जाओ. आई एम श्योर यू विल लैंड एनीवेयर बिटवीन 190 to 200. If the J&K's blessings are there with you, you will surely land. ठीक है? Anything you would like to ask the board?
So अभी मैंने I think this is my first mock only. I've just shifted here, so I've just started now. I was not even studying before this because I was immersed with my work also. So I'll start reading. So just
You don't need more marks. You need more study.
Okay.
आपको marks की जरूरत नहीं. In fact, I made the same statement to the previous candidate also, Suvan.
Yes,
I told him you don't need marks. You need because you're already in service, right? You need more of going because see, though you can say कि सर मुझे 1 साल ही हुआ है, 6 महीने हुआ है. The expectation would be कि you know everything. So when the expectations become you know everything, then you have to. अभी मैं J&K ज्योग्राफी में गया नहीं. आप खुद भी नहीं गए ज्योग्राफी में. ठीक है? अगर ज्योग्राफी में चले गए तो फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगी. देख लीजिए. ठीक है? उसको why J&K has been a victim, why Punjab, why J&K.
About Karewaz, reports.
सारे अवलांचस, क्रेवासस, हिस्ट्री J&K, पूरा भारत का इतिहास J&K से शुरू होता है. ठीक है? बहुत सारी चीजें. तो अच्छे
आप
से
जब आंसर करते हो ना, so sometime you
Yes, sir.
look up, है ना?
ठीक है.
वो थोड़ा सा कहीं ना कहीं ना
Under confident दिखाता है.
बोलते समय भी आप ऊपर ही देख के बोलते हो. कई बार ऐसा हुआ है. देखो, दूसरा आप यूट्यूबर भी हो.
Yes, sir.
वो
तो
क्यों लिखा?
ये क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछना
लिखा?
बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेट्स आर बीइंग यूट्यूबर
actually,
राइट
it was-
नाउअडेज.
क्लासेस ले रही हूँ बोलो. यूट्यूब पे क्लास ले रही हूँ क्यों बोलना है?
नहीं, यूट्यूब पे अब लिख दिया तब तो चेंज होगा नहीं. बट आपको ये बोलना पड़ेगा कि आफ्टर अगर यूपीएससी क्लियर हो गए
Immediately-
क्या अपनी चीजों को दिखाकर आप मतलब जैसे यूट्यूबर्स बहुत सारे
तो
सृष्टि
मैंने उससे
देशमुख
अपना
बहुत
फेस
सारे
भी
हैं
रिवील नहीं किया हुआ, मतलब
So-
इट्स जस्ट क्लासेस, मतलब नॉट इवन माय फेस, इट्स जस्ट पीपीटीज एंड
फिर वही
हाँ, सो आपको उसमें बोलना है कि ओनली टीचिंग के लिए है नॉट फॉर, क्योंकि जैसे आजकल लोग पूछ सकते हैं कि ब्यूरोक्रेट्स आर बीइंग यूट्यूबर्स है ना, किस चीज के लिए कर रहे हैं उसमें भी आंसर आपको देना होगा। तो फिर बोले यू वांट टू आल्सो वांट टू बी अ यूट्यूबर लाइक, तो वो किस चीज के लिए है, मतलब फेमस के लिए है कि अपने किसी बताने के लिए है। जैसे बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स आपके सामने दिख ही रहे हैं, यूट्यूबर डेली खोलो कि रील उन्हीं की शुरू हो जाती है।
there is a civil services value, no? Anonymity. It is against the spirit of anonymity. So आप डिफेंड करो अपने आप।
सो
जैसे
उसको बताना पड़ेगा आपको, तो इस चीज को जरूर याद रखना है, ठीक है।
100% सवाल है, बी केयरफुल, ठीक है, और सोच के बोलना जो भी बोलना।
एक्चुअली मैंने ना इस इंटेंशन से सोचा नहीं था, मतलब नाउ आई गेट इट कि
वो आपके हिसाब से नहीं सोचेंगे, वो अपने हिसाब से
हाँ राइट सर, क्योंकि दैट टाइम इट वाज अ प्योर इनोसेंट फीलिंग कि मतलब इफ आई नो समथिंग आई जस्ट पुट
हाँ, you just tell it was primarily intended to reach out to the maximum students, and I do it very discreetly, sir. In the sense, I don't even appear on the screen. It is primarily, only, purely and purely related to subject, and it is not even in public domain. It is only to the students who are my, well wishers. I unlist it, and I do not public any of the videos. अगर videos public है तो अभी तक तो
अनलिस्टेड कर दीजिएगा।
unlist करो immediately.
So अनलिस्ट
अगर
करने
वीडियोस
से
कुछ
क्या-
आपके पब्लिक है उनको इमीडिएटली अनलिस्ट करिए, अनलिस्ट में डाल करके एटलीस्ट आपके इंटरव्यू हो जाने तक, ठीक है। बाद
उसके
में जो
बाद
भी
तो
आप,
फिर जो भी करना है उसमें वो कर सकते हैं।
ठीक है, अनलिस्ट कर दो वीडियोस सारे आप। सी दे वॉच योर, आपका व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस 1 महीना पहले क्या था उनको पता चलेगा। दैट आई बी ऑडिट नाउ, आप यूर सर्विस में ही हो, आप आपको क्या बताना, ऑडिट होता है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें बताई जाती हैं आपके बारे में।